Hi guys, welcome back to Lost in My Library. My name's Kate. Today I am doing my annual series talking about finish up series roundup, talking about series that I've read this year, finished this year, started this year. I've got quite a few things to talk about. I finished a few series this year. I think last year a couple of series got taken off the list because they added new books to the series, which I have not yet read. One series, I will just never be touching again. I've decided not to touch it again. It's added another book to throw it off my list, but I'm not gonna read it. Not gonna read it. I think I've talked about it last year, to be honest. It's very fitting that I have decided to read this or do this video now, because when you're going to be watching this, tomorrow is the final episode of The Walking Dead. So RIP to one of my all-time favorite shows. It's been a long time coming though, and I'm sad. Very sad. So it's very fitting that I decided to do my yearly series wrap up, talking about series, the day filming this, the weekend of The Walking Dead ending. So there's that. I'm still trying to get over it. So let's talk about it. The first thing I wrote down, so let's just talk about books, series that I finished long ago as a teenager, going through phases of YA literature, YA dystopian. One YA dystopian series is not going to be on here because it has since added a prequel to it. And if you probably know already what series that is from me just saying they added a prequel. So, let's talk about that. Divergent being the first one. Divergent, it's Divergent, Insurgent, Allegiant. Then there's a short story collection of 4. I actually own all 4 books. This is a book series that I finished in my high school years. I really liked Insurgent. Insurgent is my favorite of the series. I didn't like Allegiant when I read Allegiant. I read Allegiant when it came out. And I think I was on the bandwagon of, everybody hating it. Maybe I'll like it more since I have finished. I've matured a lot more since I've read Allegiant for the first time. I don't know if I want to revisit the series, though. I don't know. But my biggest pet peeve in book series is when you kill the main villain off before you actually finish the series, and you introduce a villain in the last book when, the villain that we've been following up to that point, and then you just suddenly introduce another villain? What? I don't particularly like it. I don't like ending a series with a new villain in the last book. Divergent did it. Twilight did it. Don't come at me. Twilight did do it. They hadn't been villains up until that point. Really. I'm not a fan of that. So, I don't know if I would revisit. I don't know if I would like Allegiance because of my pet peeve of killing off the main villain before you actually finish the series. So, I may not even like Allegiant, and that's fine. There are people who like Allegiant. That's fine. We have differing tastes. That's okay. So, next series, obviously, I've read the Harry Potter series. I read the Harry Potter series out of order. Really badly out of order. I have a whole video about it. I will include that in the description because it's a funny video. I read Harry Potter out of order massively, but I have read Harry Potter not start to finish. I've never read Harry Potter start to finish in order. Yikes. Like, I'm just now realizing that. Like, I have never read Harry Potter start to finish in order. I have reread some of the books, but I have never just read the whole series. I do own all 7 books at this point. I might reread them at some point. Just because I do own them, and it's not going to be, benefiting J.K. Rowling. So, there's that. Obviously, I put Rick Riordan series because, like, there's a lot. So, I have read quite a few Rick Riordan series. I'm going to leave Rick Riordan to last. So, let's talk about the series that I actually... No, there's one more before... Okay. Shadow and Bone. I did read the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I have finished all 3. I finished that trilogy in... I was living in the apartment when I finished that trilogy because I have very vivid memories of remembering what happened to, like, Nikolai in Ruin and Rising. I have vivid memories of, like, being very upset with what happened with Nikolai in Ruin and Rising. Yeah, so that's been a series that I've finished quite a bit ago. Okay, series I finished this year. Six of Crows. I finally finished the Six of Crows duology, which includes Six of Crows Crooked Kingdom. I love that duology. It is one of my all-time favorite series. I love the characters. For now, it's a finished series, but there is a lot of hints that Lee Bardugo is going to be writing a 3rd book in making it a trilogy instead of the duology. And I would eat that up. Not gonna lie. I love those characters. I'm so ready for season 2. Shadow and Bone. So excited. It's gonna be good. Hopefully. Hopefully it's gonna be good. We're getting introduced... The people are getting introduced to Nikolai. Who, like... Otherwise, like, it's just... Nikolai's just been, like, in the books. Because, obviously, he's not in the first book. And, like, people are going to be introduced to him. I'm so excited that people are going to get to see Nikolai. Oh my gosh. My boy Nikolai. But also, like, Kaz. I love Kaz so much. Kaz has stolen my heart from Nikolai, to be honest. Love Kaz. Okay. Another series I finished. Dark and Shade of Magic series. I finished this year with my finishing series vlog. I liked Dark and Shade of Magic. Loved The Gathering of Shadows. Gathering Shadows is top tier. So good. Conjuring Light isn't as good as Gathering of Shadows, but it's still okay. Still ended on a good note. This is also a series that is finished for now, because I think V-Shop is reading another series following this. Might be continuation, it might just be sequel series like what Rick Riordan's doing. So there is that. It's for now. But this is more likely probably going to be a sequel series. I think these are going to be, it's going to be like older. They're older. The characters are older. So that's good. Okay, so let's talk about the Rick Riordan series. I have obviously read the Percy Jackson series. I freaking love the Percy Jackson series. This is actually a for now series because Rick Riordan has announced that he is writing a Percy Annabeth Grover story that is like going to be number 6, I think. Percy Jackson number 6. And I am beyond excited. So this is actually a for now series, which I never thought would be a thing, because we've had sequel series for Percy Jackson. So it's like, oh, we're going back. Maybe. I don't know. But we are getting a Percy Annabeth Grover story, which I'm very excited about. I I'm just like shaking in excitement because it's just like, it's happening. Oh my gosh, we're getting OG trilogy, the OG group back. We're getting them back together. The gang's getting back together, y'all. I'm so excited. I'm just shaking. And then we had the Heroes of Olympus series, which I have also obviously read because my all-time favorite book is in this series. It is The House of Hades. I love House of Hades. It's so good. It's a lot. It can be a lot. I want to tell people to read my all-time favorite book, but you have to read 9 books or 8 books before you get to it. So, kind of difficult, but like, it's middle grade, and you can read Percy Jackson in like 2 days. It's easy. Here's Olympus, you might need a couple more days, but they're fast reads, very quick, even though they're like 500 pages long. Heroes of Olympus, love it. I didn't like it as much as I liked Percy Jackson. I think the finale, I don't know. I think the Percy Jackson finale hits a whole lot harder than Heroes of Olympus ever did. Because we have a sympathetic villain in the Percy Jackson series in Luke. Whereas the Heroes of Olympus series, we don't have a sympathetic villain. That, if I could go back and reread a book, I think I would want to reread, The Last Olympian, just because of how hard that book hits the first time you read it, and you're just like, what? It's so good. It's so good. Mwah. It's a masterpiece. And then, of course, this year I actually finished another series, and that is the Trials of Apollo series. It's good. I think it's not as good as the other two. And that's mainly probably because, like, Percy and Annabeth aren't there at all. Apollo's a good character, he's fine, but, like, we're missing a lot of the characters that we love, and some things happen in that series that I don't want to talk about, but it is leading to a Will and Nico solo story that I'm very excited about. That's going to be its own separate, like, thing, so it's not, like, it's a part of the world, but not a part of a series, so there's that. But you will have to have read, like, all these books, 15 books to be exact, to understand what's happening with Will and Nico's story. So good. I'm so excited. Getting out of the Percy Jackson trilogy of series, we have the Kane Chronicles, which is actually getting a movie series. I'm so excited. The Kane Chronicles. It's so underrated. It's so good. It's Egyptian mythology, following our main characters, Carter and Sadie, who are siblings, and it's so good. Oh my goodness, it's so good. I don't understand why people don't read this series more. It's underrated. It's just so good. So good. And it so deserved the movie series that it's getting. It's being done by Netflix. Which Netflix has produced things like The Witcher and Shadow and Bone. So maybe it'll be good. Hopefully it'll be good. But it's Netflix. Don't trust Netflix. So let's talk about series that I have started this year. I have several series that I started this year. These are series that I definitely do plan on continuing. These books have, some of them have not finished, and we'll talk about those. First one being the Penny Wright series, which is, I read Devil's Night, and Angel Eyes. Angel Eyes is my favorite of the two. I really, really enjoyed Angel Eyes. Then there's Demon House, which I also own. And then I think another book just came out recently that's not technical. It has Pennywright, but it's not in the Pennywright series. I really have enjoyed this. Pennywright has, I've described the first book being like, Home Before Dark. If Home Before Dark leaned into the, paranormal a lot more. If it was paranormal rather than what ended up being. So that's what the first book is. Second book, if you like creepypastas, that's the book for you, because, or like lost episodes, lost media, that's very much the book for you. And I really enjoyed reading Angel Eyes a lot more than I enjoyed reading Devil's Night, but they're both very good. So I highly recommend that series. I need to read Demon Knight, and I need to read the next book. That's, I think, part of a different series. And then we have the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I loved the first book. I loved the murder mystery aspect of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Love the amateur detective and our main character, and it's just so good. I have read Good Girl Bad Blood, which is the second book in the series. I didn't like the mystery as much as I really liked the murder in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Still pretty good. I still need to read As Good as Dead, which I do own. I do own it. And then I need to read the novella, which I think is called Killjoy, something like that. Which is like a murder mystery party that our main character goes to. I'm blanking on her name right now. I'm so sorry. I'm blanking on her name. So the next one is a series that I started because of a video that has yet to come out, but maybe coming out soon. And that is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus, I think is who wrote it. This is like the Breakfast Club kind of, where we have different stereotypes and a person, they are all in detention, one of them dies, and then they gotta figure out who killed the person. It's a good book. It's decent. I give it 4 stars. I think I will definitely continue. I know there is another book out. One of Us is next, maybe is the next one. And then I know, actually, while I was looking up how many books I have to read, continue with the series, there is a third book coming in 2023. It has yet to have a cover or a name. So, but we do know there's a third book coming. The next one is the Gifted Clans series. This is a middle grade series by, her name is escaping me right now, but this is Korean mythology. This is in the Rick Riordan Presents universe. So this was really good. I actually really enjoyed the first book. I enjoyed learning more about Korean mythology. I want to read more of the Rick Riordan Presents series to get series about mythology I would have never probably learned about otherwise by people who are of that descent, whether they are, part American or still living in that country, or just of the descent of that culture, rather than a white male writing it. So there's that. Then there is Nevermore. This is a middle grade series by Jessica Townsend. Is that who wrote Nevermore? I forget. I'm so bad with author names. This is about Morgan Crow, who she is a child who has been marked to die on her 12th birthday, but is rescued by Jupiter North. I freaking loved the first book. Loved it so much. I know that I do own the next two books in that series, and I know there is a third book also coming out, or not a third, but fourth book coming out. I don't know if it's already been out, but I know there's that. And then the recent entry to this list, Bridgerton. I recently read The Duke and I. I bought the series. Why? I don't particularly know. Because they're pretty. The editions I got are really pretty. Probably will end up selling them at some point. The first book. Listen. I don't understand. I can't get behind Daphne, the main character. This is just all about the siblings. So Daphne, thankfully, is not going to be the main character for any of the other ones. She's going to be there, but she's not going to be the main character. Thank God, because Daphne is awful. She's the worst. I actually just saw Gavin read the series, and I saw that he rated The Duke and I, which is the first book, 2 stars, which is what I rated The Duke and I, because it's bad. It's really bad. Daphne gets away with sexual assault and never apologizes. Actually gaslights Simon, who she's married to, into thinking he's the one that it was like his fault for getting angry that she did that. Like, she never apologizes for it either. And everyone blames Simon for it. And it's just like, wow. Wow. And we're supposed to like her? Simon deserved better. I'm going to straight up say it. Simon deserved better. She knew what she was getting into. Simon deserved better. Just saying. Moving on. So, we're going to move on to series that I didn't start this year, but series that I am in the middle of. First one being, we're going to start with Brandon Sanderson. First one being Skyward. I have read the first 2 books in the Skyward series, so Skyward and Starsight. I have not read Cytonic, and I have not read the 3 novellas. I think that's been the main thing, is that I need to read the 3 novellas before I read Cytonic. Or at least 2 of them, I think. I think that's been the main thing of holding me back. Cytonic came out last year. But I did kind of hold off until I bought the big book that has the 3 novellas in it. Which came out this year. Which I do own. It's been a while since I bought it, though. It's been like the beginning of the year. I still need to finish that series. I really loved the first book. Second book, not as much as I love the first book, but I did really love the first book, and I need to continue with that series because I love Brandon Sanderson. Next one is Mistborn. I am nearly done with Mistborn. It's going to be a miracle if I finish Mistborn by the end of the year, but sometimes miracles do really can happen. I have 1 book, not even a whole book left, of Mistborn. I'm nearly done. I'm enjoying it. I absolutely freaking loved Mistborn: The Final Empire. So good. Mwah! So good. Will of Ascension definitely has middle book syndrome in that it's kind of dealing with the aftermath of the first book, but hasn't really fully figured out what it's slowly building up to the third book. very slowly building up to the third book. And then a lot just happens in the last few chapters that you're like, oh crap, that's what we're doing. That's what's happening. And then this book has been a lot faster paced and a lot more interesting than Will of Ascension. So I'm very intrigued to see how this series ends. I know actually that there is a prequel book. I think it's called The 12th Metal. And it's a prequel following Kelsier. So I definitely want to read that actually because it's Kel. It's Kelsier. I freaking love Kelsier. So I apparently have things for men named Kel. Just saying. And then the last one is the book no, there's 2 books. We'll talk about this one. So I have read the first. I keep forgetting that this is a series. It's technically a series. Beloved by Toni Morrison. I want to read more Toni Morrison. I have yet to read more Toni Morrison. But I do know that Beloved is technically the first book in a series. So, it's been a while since I've read Beloved, but it's very good. I love Toni Morrison. I think Toni Morrison is going to be... Toni Morrison is a modern classic. We'll be studying her more in school later down the line. Because I think her work is very important. I think it's interesting enough that it should be studied more in school and not just college. But high school maybe, because it's hard, but I think it really needs to be studied more. So the last series that I did I alluded to, and that is The Hunger Games. I have read the original trilogy, and then in recent years, Suzanne Collins decided to write a prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is actually just wrapped up filming movie. Interesting. So I do need to read that before that movie comes out. I would like to watch that movie. But that has been my series wrap up. That's it. Any other series like Dune? You were like, Caitlin, you read Dune. Yeah. DNFing. Not reading that series. Sorry. Not sorry. Didn't love Dune. You can love Dune all you like. I did not love Dune. Enjoy it. I didn't. Other series that I have started reading. Oh, this is a series that I didn't mention. I just realized I didn't mention. But, the Brown Sisters series with Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Oh my goodness, why did I not mention this? I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown this year. Absolutely loved it. Yes, I do plan on continuing with that series. What? By Talia Hibbert. Oh my goodness. That book was so good. One of the few romance series that I'm like, yes, I would continue reading because it's so good. I really enjoyed it. Although the next 2 books aren't about Chloe and Red. But it's interesting enough that I would happily read the next few books in that series. I'm kicking myself that I forgot to write down Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I'm so sorry. Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Alright, that has been it though. I thank you guys so much for watching. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. If you've ever read these series, let me know what you thought in the description, in the comments down below. Go be a good cabbage today. Do something kind for someone, even if that is for yourself, because self-care is important. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.